Okay, I want you to picture a scenario. It's Tuesday morning, you haven't had enough coffee, and you need to call your internet provider
Hmm.
or your bank. You dial the number, and you just hit that wall. You know the one.
Oh, the dreaded press 1 for sales, press 2 for frustration.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You press 2, you wait on hold, the music is just awful, you finally get transferred to a human, they ask for your account number again.
even though you just typed it in.
Right. And then, click, the line drops.
It is, I think, the universal experience of modern frustration. We have all been trapped in that exact loop. It's so inefficient, it's impersonal, and frankly, it feels like the tech is stuck in, what, 1999?
It really does.
Yeah.
But what if this system actually, understood you? What if instead of navigating this rigid maze of numbers, you just said what you needed and the system, like a smart assistant, actually handled it?
Well, that's exactly what we're talking about today.
It is. Today, we are unpacking the release notes for Complete PBX 5.3.0, and let me tell you, this is not just a standard we fix some bugs kind of update.
No, it certainly isn't. When I was looking through these notes, I realized we're looking at a pretty significant strategic shift. We're moving away from the traditional static PBX, the private branch exchange, and toward what they're calling native AI communication.
It feels like we're watching a standard telephone system transform into an intelligent agent, like right before our eyes.
Yeah,
And we have a lot to cover.
we do. I've sort of mapped our deep dive into three main pillars. First, and this is the big one, the debut of virtual agents. That's the whole AI suite.
Yeah.
Second, we've got some serious quality of life improvements for the administrators who actually have to run these systems.
Now, the unsung heroes of the IT department.
Precisely. And third, we're going to look at the invisible shield, the critical security hardening that's happened under the hood.
All right, let's unpack this. The headline feature here is clearly the virtual agents. Now, when I saw virtual agent in the release notes, my skepticism radar pinged a little. I thought, okay, is this just a fancy rebranding of an auto attendant?
Yeah.
But it's more than that.
It's fundamentally different. I mean, think of a standard auto attendant as a tree structure, right? You climb the trunk, you choose a branch, you go to a leaf. If you pick the wrong branch, you're stuck.
Right.
A virtual agent isn't a tree, it's a listener. It's designed to understand intent. And in 5.3.0, they've introduced two specific types, the receptionist and the informative agent.
So let's start with the receptionist. I assume this is the digital equivalent of the person sitting at the front desk.
That is exactly right. The receptionist agent handles inbound calls. Its main job is to figure out what the caller wants and then route them. But here's where it gets really fascinating. It's not just routing to an extension number.
Okay.
It's performing what they call intelligent call routing.
Right, I saw that. It says it routes based on names, skills, departments, and even free text information. That last part, free text information, that sounds powerful. But what does that mean in practice?
It completely changes the game. It moves routing from being hard-coded to being attribute-based. So imagine you have an employee named Steve. In the old system, Steve is just extension 200.
Yeah.
In this new system, you can tag Steve's profile with metadata. You can add these free text tags like Spanish speaker, level 2 tech support, or urgent care specialist.
Ah, I see. So the system isn't just looking for a number, it's looking for a match.
Exactly. If a caller says, I have a billing emergency and I only speak Spanish, the AI analyzes those requirements. It looks at the pool of available agents and thinks, okay, who matches billing in Spanish? It finds Steve and routes the call straight to him.
Wow. Even if the caller didn't know Steve existed.
Correct.
That is wild.
Yeah.
It's basically matchmaking for phone calls. It takes the burden off the caller to know exactly which department they need.
Yeah.
And I noticed something about dynamic messaging to go with this. This part really caught my eye because I cannot stand robotic, generic greetings.
Yes, this is a subtle but psychologically powerful feature. The system supports real-time placeholders in the greetings. The notes specifically mention things like agent name or department.
So instead of a generic, please hold for the next available agent, the system could actually say, I'm connecting you to Steve in tech support.
Exactly that. It pulls that data dynamically from the system. It makes the AI sound aware of the context, not like some static recording. It says to the caller, yes, I heard you, and yes, I'm sending you to the right place.
It's all about the vibe. And speaking of vibe, I saw they added a customizable AI persona.
Right. You can tweak the voice, gender, and language to match your brand. A serious law firm might want a very different voice than, say, a creative ad agency.
Okay, but here's the question that always comes up with AI. What if it fails? What if I mumble or my dog is barking and the receptionist has no clue what I said? Do I just get hung up on?
That is the crucial question, isn't it? You can't have a dead end. The release notes really emphasize this safety fallback feature. You define a specific failure destination.
So it's like a safety net.
Precisely. If the AI can't figure it out, or if the caller just goes silent, it doesn't hang up. It routes the call to a predefined place, maybe a human receptionist, a general queue. Somewhere the call will get answered.
That's reassuring. You define the happy path where the AI works, but you also have to plan for the sad path so the customer isn't left stranded.
You have to.
Okay, so that's the receptionist. Moving traffic. Now tell me about the informative agent. This sounds less like a traffic cop and more like a librarian.
That is a wonderful analogy. The informative agent is a 247 knowledge assistant. Its job isn't to transfer you, its job is to answer you.
And how does it know the answers? This is the part where I'm thinking, oh great, I have to spend 6 months programming a chatbot.
Thankfully, no, that would be the old way. With this system, you use a knowledge base. You just upload your existing support documents. The notes mention DOCX, PDF, TXT, and Markdown files.
Wait, hold on. So I can literally take the PDF user manual for my product or my employee handbook, upload it to the PBX, and the AI just reads it and answers questions based on it.
Correct. You train the agent on your own specific business data. If you run a bakery, you upload your menu. If you run a software company, you upload your troubleshooting guide. The AI ingests it and uses it to generate answers.
That is huge for small businesses. Imagine a plumber who's under a sink and can't answer the phone. A customer calls asking how much for a consult. The AI can answer that instantly.
It creates a 247 presence without the payroll cost. But you do need controls. You see the note on session management.
Yes, max call duration. I assume that's to keep costs down.
And to manage resources, yeah. You don't want a caller engaging the AI in a 3-hour philosophical debate tying up a line, so you set a hard limit. But more importantly, there are structured exit paths.
Right, because eventually the conversation has to end.
Exactly. The system defines where the caller goes if their question is answered successfully, maybe a goodbye message, but it also defines where they go if the issue is unresolved. It separates the success path from the needs help path.
And I noticed there's a toggle for recording and transcription for both of these agents.
Which is essential for QA. You have to be able to grade the AI's homework. By reading the transcripts, you can see where the AI struggled. Maybe customers keep asking about a product you forgot to put in the manual. You see that, you update the manual, upload it again, and the AI gets smarter.
Well, it's a learning loop. I love that. Okay, let's pivot. We've done the sci-fi stuff. Let's talk about the practical magic, the nuts and bolts that keep admins from pulling their hair out.
Often, these are the features that get the most applause from the IT crowd because they solve these little daily headaches.
There is one feature here called Update Replace for recordings. To the average listener, that sounds kind of boring, but I bet to an admin that sounds like a vacation.
Oh, absolutely. Think about the old way. Let's say you have a holiday closed message. You might use that same audio file in 5 different IVRs and 3 different queues.
Right.
If you wanted to update that message, you had to go into every single one of those modules, find the setting, and change the file. It was death by 1,000 clicks.
And if you miss one, you have one random line telling customers you're closed for Christmas when it's actually July.
Exactly. The new Update Replace option lets you swap an audio file globally. You upload the new version once, and the system instantly updates every place that file is used.
A massive time saver.
Ah.
Okay, IVR enhancements. I see something about DTMF pattern matching. Specifically, this code XXXX. Can you translate that from tech speak for us?
Sure. DTMF, that's just the sounds the buttons make. Previously, IVRs were usually press 1, press 2, fixed inputs. Pattern matching allows the system to accept variable input.
Like what? Give me an example.
Think about your bank.
Yeah.
Please enter the last 4 digits of your account number. That's a variable. The XXX pattern tells the system, expect any 4 digits here and capture them.
And then what does it do with them?
It passes them to an external application, most likely. It bridges the gap between your phone system and your database. It's moving from just navigation to actual data entry.
Got it. Speaking of data, there's a billing update here too. End of month for CDR.
Yeah, CDR is called detail records. This is purely for the billing teams. A lot of providers bill on a monthly cycle. This just adds an end-of-month upload interval to the automated reporting.
So the data dump happens exactly when the billing cycle closes.
Right. Aligns the tech with the business logic. Set it and forget it.
And just quickly on user experience, they finally added the eye toggle on the password field.
It is the little things. Being able to unmask the password while you type prevents so many login errors.
And they removed custom destination from some of the routing menus.
Yes, likely to streamline the interface. Sometimes improving software is about taking away clutter as much as it is about adding features.
Okay, we've done the fun stuff. We've done the useful stuff. Now we have to eat our vegetables. Let's talk security.
I would argue this is the protein, not the vegetables. This is what keeps the system strong. You can't run a fancy AI phone system if someone hacks it in 5 minutes.
Fair enough. The notes mention fortifying the castle. What's the foundation here?
Well, the system is now running on a security baseline for Debian 11 and 12. So staying current with the OS is step one. But the real story is what they've killed off.
Killing the zombies. I see they're disabling legacy protocols.
Yes. SSLv2, SSLv3, TLS 1.0, and TLS 1.1.
Okay, alphabet soup. Why do we hate these?
They're just old encryption protocols. In the security world, they are considered broken. They have known vulnerabilities, things with scary names like the Poodly attack.
Right.
If your server supports these old protocols, an attacker can force your connection to downgrade to these weaker standards and then spy on the data.
So by disabling them by default, CompletePBX is basically closing the back door.
Exactly. It's like changing the locks because the old keys were too easy to copy.
And speaking of locks, they're doing some anti-reconnaissance,
Mm-hmm.
hiding the OS and Apache versions details. What's that about?
When a hacker scans a server, they look for banners. It's like the server shouting, "Hi, I'm running Apache version 2.4.49 on Linux."
And that's bad because...
Because once they know the exact version, they just look up known exploits for that specific version. By hiding those details, you make the attacker work much harder to figure out what they're attacking.
Don't tell the burglar what brand of safe you have.
Precisely. They've also improved error handling. Now, users just see a generic error message, while the detailed technical stuff, the stack traces, are restricted to internal logs.
Makes sense. You don't want to show your dirty laundry or your database structure to the public.
Exactly. And the last bit on this is input validation and parameterized queries.
This is to fight things like SQL injection.
Right. SQL injection is the big one. It's when someone types malicious code into a form field to trick your database. Instead of a name, they type a command that says, "Show me all passwords."
That sounds terrifying.
It is. Parameterized queries prevent this. They ensure that whatever you type in a box is treated strictly as text, never as an executable command. It just neutralizes the threat.
It really sounds like they went through the code with a fine-toothed comb on this release.
They had to. A PBX is a prime target for fraud. Hardening these inputs is absolutely non-negotiable.
Okay, before we wrap up, let's hit the niche improvements. These are specific, but if you need them, you really need them.
For sure. For the hardware fans, there's now specific support for the Yealink W70B.
And they added support for something called handset.writex.ipui. I had to look this one up.
Ah, IPUI. International Portable User Identity.
Sounds fancy. Why does it matter?
It's for DECT handsets, those cordless phones you see in warehouses or retail stores. The IPUI ensures that a specific handset registers correctly to the base station. If you're managing 50 cordless phones, this makes sure the right phone rings for the right person.
Crucial for the folks on the floor. And for the UI, they fixed the search bar.
Yes. In the device list, if you had hundreds of phones and scrolled down, the search bar used to disappear. Now it's sticky at the top. A simple quality of life fix.
And a quick shout out to cloud phone users. They whitelisted new Acrobits cluster IPs.
Vital for connectivity. Acrobits powers the mobile apps. They expanded their servers, so this update ensures the apps keep working without interruption.
And finally, bug fixes. Always good to see.
The big one here is the fix for State Explorer. The IVR statistics report wasn't showing data.
That seems like a big deal.
It is. If you're trying to analyze your call flows and the report is blank, you're flying blind. That's now resolved. Also a permission fix where view-only users could still change some settings.
Oh, wow. Yeah, view-only should definitely mean look but don't touch.
Indeed. A necessary patch.
So bringing it all together, what does this all mean? Complete PBX 5.3.0 isn't just an update. It feels like a maturation. We have the cutting-edge AI, we have the administrative shortcuts, and we have this bedrock of security hardening.
It's a really balanced release. It pushes the envelope on innovation with AI, while at the same time reinforcing the foundation with security. It acknowledges that a modern communication system has to be smart, but it also has to be safe and manageable.
It's impressive stuff. But here's the thought I want to leave you with, and it's something I was thinking about while we discussed the informative agent.
Go on.
We said This AI can read your manuals and answer questions 2004/7 using your brand's voice. We usually think of AI as the cheap alternative. We assume customers will always want a human.
That's the conventional wisdom, yeah. Empathy requires a person.
But
Yeah.
if the AI has instant access to every page of the manual and never gets tired and never gets grumpy and never puts you on hold to go ask a supervisor,
Mhm.
how long until the caller actually prefers the AI?
That is a provocative question. Would you rather talk to a nice human who takes 10 minutes to find the answer, or a machine that gives you the correct answer in 2 seconds?
Exactly. Yeah. We might be crossing a threshold where, for just pure information retrieval, the machine is simply the superior interface. And efficiency might just win out over empathy.
It's a fascinating shift to watch.
Something to mull over next time you're on hold, waiting for a human. Thanks for listening to this deep dive on Complete PBX 5.3.0.
Until next time.